Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Checking the energy levels in the post lunch. How many of you got the time to eat? Most of you? Wonderful. So we can expect that many sleepies? Okay. No, okay. Am I audible? Do I need a mic?
No.
I don't, right? Okay. So let's welcome Archana. Oh, for the recording it's better.
Do you need the hand mic?
Protocols we have to follow. No, he'll get
There is a hand mic.
Oh, there is a hand mic?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's working. Can you hear me? Yes. It's good? Okay. Yeah, good afternoon and welcome back from the lunch, a wonderful lunch and a post-lunch sessions. So we have 3 track sessions and post that you know that there's a common session and a panel discussion. So hope all of you have been tweeting to win the awesome gifts that we have. Have you been?
Yes.
What is the hashtag that we need to use?
Voice 19.
Exactly. There are people who have made mistake and they are not counted, unfortunately, although they had tweeted a lot. So don't get into the trap of wrong tweeting, wrong addresses. Okay, let's welcome Archana without much time with a big round of applause. Archana, a dear friend, my mentor, and one of the top leaders in this industry, both in India and internationally recognized. She heads the global transformation for L&T Infotech. She has 19 years of experience. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Time flies. Industry experience across progressive roles in software engineering, IT transformation. For past 10 years, she has worked with organizations and team of varying sizes in bringing new ways of working using Agile and DevOps. She focuses on the change that organizations need to drive to embrace the digital transformation across people, process, and technology. We have been hearing these 3 words since morning. So she has been actually working on these items for many years now. She has worked with Fortune 100 enterprise clients across diverse domains, including manufacturing, BFSI, and telecommunications. And she's a firm believer of peer-to-peer learning, contributes actively to industry communities. She's also the MLE, Member of Leader Excellence at Harvard Square. Big deal, right? Let her give her one more round of applause for that. And she's here to talk to us about the power of 3, as the topic says, the DevOps, cloud, and AI, which is buzzwords, but let us go beyond buzz through Archana in this session. Welcome, Archana.
Yeah. Thank you, Padma. And good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Okay. So before we get started, I'll just, thanks for the lovely introduction, Padma. So I'll probably just tell a little bit more about what my background is and where do I come from. So I'm based in Pune. Anyone from Pune in this room?
I studied in Pune.
Okay.
I worked in Pune, so makes me qualified.
Yeah. Okay. So in Pune, and incidentally, we all know tomorrow is Ganpati festival. So it's quite a big deal in Pune. It's one of the biggest festivals that we celebrate out there. And it's a really nice atmosphere. You have all these traditional drum beats and all going on, irrespective of your race, gender, all of us come together, right? So I wanted to kind of thank you all because being a festive occasion, you have spent your Sunday, a long weekend for being here. So really thank you and grateful for that. And a little bit in terms of what I've done in the past, Padma of course alluded to it. So worked with various clients across the globe, be it Middle East, where I remember an incident wherein I had to go present things on Agile, and I was told that, you know what, since it's their festival week, I had to stop at 3 o'clock, and then I was like, oh gosh, I had planned it for the whole day. I had started at 10 and I was told that no, you have to stop it at 3. So I was like trying to be really agile in doing what I was presenting to those guys, right? So worked across different, I would say, companies and so on and so forth. And there are few things which caught my attention, right? And some of those topics is what I wanted to share with you today. So the intent of this talk is not to present an expertise or not to give you a whole view of how all of these things come together, but just to give you an insight into what is happening, what a company is looking for, and what could the future look like. So if you expect that I'm going to talk a lot of technology, a lot of new things, a lot of newer tools and all that are coming up, probably this is a wrong session for you. You might want to check other sessions while there is still time, right? So since this is a post-lunch session, I thought let me not just do talk. Let me hear from the audience as well. So I'll start off with a quiz. I'm going to show you 3 pictures and you're going to tell me what is common in those 3 pictures. Fine? Is it a fair question to ask? Yes. Okay. So this is the first image. For those who might be able to think what exactly that is. So that is a radiologist trying to look at some CT scans to figure out what is the advent of cancer in that CT scan. Okay, so that's the first image which you have. This is the second image of a model from a runway, and incidentally Tommy Hilfiger is the brand out there. And this is the third image which I'm sure all of us are familiar with, to figure out how much time it takes from this hotel to the airport, right? Because that's something which I was very curious yesterday as well and today. So what do you think is common across all these 3?
Are you traveling? Are you walking or 3 hours, 2 minutes?
No, look at the blue one. It says 1 hour 23 minutes. I am not going to walk. Yeah, what do you think is common across all these 3 images? So the first one is a radiologist looking at the CT scan images. Second one is a model walking on a runway. And the third one is our favorite Google Maps.
Vaguely connecting, can I say change?
Change, okay. Anything else? Anyone wants to give it a shot? What do you think is common here?
Technology, all driven by technology.
Sorry, what was it?
Technology, all driven by technology.
All driven by technology, yes. Could you go a little bit into that?
Data.
Pardon me? Data, yes.
Speed, right?
Speed, data, okay. So I'll probably say it aloud. What is common in all these 3 is artificial intelligence. Yeah, and I'll explain you what. So this image, the first one here, is from a company called InfoVision in China. Incidentally, China is the, I would say, world's largest contributor to AI solutions. They are doing a lot of investments in that area. The government is really putting a lot of time, energy to make it happen, and pumping a lot of money, of course. So what this company looks at is, on an average in a year, you have about 1.2 billion images of CT scan that the radiologists have to scan through. So they work with 280 hospitals to develop solutions which can scan these images and figure out whether it's on the start of a cancer, right? Because you don't have so many qualified doctors today. You don't have so many qualified radiologists today. So if you have to really shorten that cycle time, they are using AI-based engines to do that, okay? This second one, Tommy Hilfiger as a brand, I'm sure all of us are aware of. We wear the clothes that they produce. So this brand tied up with IBM Watson last year, and this is one of the collections that was powered by working with IBM Watson, right? So when I say what happened here, so designers in Tommy Hilfiger worked with the Watson, so they fed that Watson AI engine 15,000 images of their past runway to get an idea of what kind of patterns Tommy Hi-Fi as a brand stands for. They looked at about 600,000 images of other runway designers in terms of what are those designers thinking. They looked at about 100,000 odd images from the fabric websites, right? And all together gave certain insights to the designer saying what could click in the market and what should you as a creative team focus on so that your brand and your collection is going to be a hit. So this is a very different way of looking at AI in fashion and a creative industry, where usually we associate AI with a lot of data, data scientists, data intelligence, and so on and so forth, right? The third part, everybody's favorite, real-time imaging, working with the real-time data given by thousands of vehicles using Google to figure out how much time is it going to take from one point to another, right? So the point I'm trying to make here is that AI is pretty much there across whatever we do. It's embedded deep into most of the things that we may not be aware of, that it's being powered by AI. And this is definitely going to increase more and more as we move along the journey, right? So if you look at AI, there are 3 aspects. You have AI, which is the artificial intelligence, which is the motherhood or the broad umbrella. Then you have machine learning, which is looking at algorithms, which you take them, turn them, and make them more intelligent by feeding more data in terms of what is going to happen. And then of course you have the deep learning, which is the AI that is most oftenly used in films, and they talk a lot about these kind of things, right? So today in the talk I'm going to focus of AI in the machine learning context in terms of what happens when these kind of techniques fall closely in with the DevOps world, right? Next question, what do you think is common here? Yes, that was a googly question. There was nothing else. These all are clouds. But incidentally, there's different names to these clouds which I was not aware of. And my daughter told me saying that, you know what, these are different clouds and all, and some are called Sirius, some are Nimbus or whatever, right? So, yes, they are cloud. For me, it was all common, it's cloud. So this question was just to test you guys are awake post lunch session. That's all, yeah. So this one, I'm sure all of you are aware. How many of you are using any of these three? All of us, right? So these are the top 3 cloud providers. Azure is there, AWS and Google Cloud, right? And as everyone says, after cloud, you get scalability, you get better costs, you get better business continuity because of the very fact that your workloads are now shifting to cloud, right? And there are few more additional advantages that cloud can give you, right? And now coming to our favorite topic, DevOps, right, for which all of us are here in this conference today. Is everyone familiar with this pipeline? Typical process? Yeah. So you have your plan, you have your code, you do your build, test, release, monitor. And when I put out this diagram, I felt it was very waterfall-like, so I tried to add 2 curve arrows to say it's more of an ongoing feedback loop, right? Now if you have to automate this whole process, and lot of DevOps is about a lot of things. We looked at culture, we looked at collaboration, but another important aspect is also the tools and technologies that you are using. And in the morning, Tapo made a point saying that in large enterprises there needs to be certain standardization of tools, otherwise these implementations can go haywire very quickly, right? So this is the ecosystem that we have today. I have not counted, must be at least 100 here and many more which keep on getting added, right? So today if you look at organizations, they'll kind of say that these are all the tools that we have to implement, these are the kind of things that we have to do to automate these simple 6 steps. To automate 6 steps, you have so many tools out there in the market, right? And then you would have, say, should I put this tool in my own premises? Should I use a SaaS version? Should I use some other version? So these are all the questions that typically people who are setting up these DevOps pipeline usually have, right? So then we said, okay, why can't we bring in DevOps and cloud together, right? So similarly, the way you are shifting workloads on your cloud for your application, can't I shift my DevOps pipeline on cloud? Easily doable. Can I consume DevOps as a service? Yes, easily doable, right? So after DevOps, the things that you get in terms of improved collaboration, shorter delivery cycles, improved quality, all of that becomes even more magnified if you try and put this together on cloud. So you have the benefits of cloud and you have the benefits of DevOps, and you are trying to bring these 2 things together, yeah? So then you will see, of course, our title sponsors here, Azure DevOps. So then you have these kind of solutions where all of this is on cloud. You don't really need to bother where is that pipeline residing, where exactly it is, how is that pipeline performing, do you need to request additional servers to deploy these tools, and so on and so forth, right? Similarly, you have AWS and so does GCP, right? So AWS has its own DevOps stacks, and they have their own tools like code commit, code build, code pipeline, EC2 instances, container services, and so on and so forth, right? And similarly, you have PaaS providers like Pivotal, OpenShift coming up with their own tools, technologies, which help you bring in the benefits that a DevOps pipeline would bring in along with the benefits that cloud would bring in, right? So that's where you are now started to marry DevOps and cloud, and you are going to see additional benefits in terms of your IT cost further reduction and so on and so forth. Now let's try and see what happens when I bring a machine learning into this mix, right? Because we have said that AI is going to be everywhere. We are saying AI is kind of powering everything that we do. So can it help DevOps, right? And that's the question we are going to try and look at. So if I bring in machine learning into the DevOps, into this mix of cloud and the pipelines, what do you think the results will be? Will it be really good or will it be really bad? Or is it like just trying to stretch AI into things which you should not be stretching into, right? Because AI is a buzzword, let me go and fix things into DevOps as well and try and do it. So when you look at bringing in machine learning into the mix of DevOps, there are two aspects you need to consider, right? The first one is machine learning within the DevOps pipeline itself. That's one concept, right? And second is using DevOps and DevOps pipeline to develop your machine learning algorithms. Do you understand the two differences that exist? Yeah? One is using these techniques to improve your pipeline. Second is using the pipeline itself to develop AI and ML based solutions. There are two aspects to this, right? And two widely different aspects. So let's go one by one and see what happens when you implement each of these, right? So let's take the first one. You are trying to do ML within DevOps, right? So what are the things that you could look at? So in your normal pipeline which is there, you may have chatbots which are aiding you to do your stand-ups, to do your planning, right? You could look at things like that. So in my organization we had a team which was using chatbots to figure out the data which was getting into the Slack channel. So there were bots which were deployed which used to kind of figure out what was happening across these Slack channels and build certain intelligence out of it. This gets useful whenever you have large scale distributed teams. You have multiple teams trying to put things on the chat and you are trying to see what are the dependencies there, right? So this was one of the things that they said helped them. Another is during coding, building efficient applications based on patterns, right? We all know there are patterns, but do we always abide by them? Perhaps not. And we kind of start increasing the technical debt that we have for an application. So you need to then look at what are those efficient applications, the way you can build it efficiently based on the patterns. Can the IDEs suggest you those patterns proactively rather than reactively, where you are doing and putting the code through certain checks and tools and then they are saying warnings and indicators, right? So this is more about doing it proactively things. So today morning we talked a lot about branching and merging and a lot of time gets spent on the merging side of things. So then AI based solutions can help you there as well, right? So that's the second application where in the code part you can bring in certain techniques to do this better. Of course testing, you can look at machine learning techniques being used in automated testing, and this is one of the first places where people start off by bringing in ML techniques within DevOps. It's pretty easy to understand, easier to implement compared to the other ones, right? So this one in the release cycle, look at data correlation on how servers are performing, look at how the performance is happening once you put an application into production, look at the failures, log analysis and so on and so forth, right? So does this all kind of exist today in your pipeline? Kind of yes. Many of the tool vendors that are using these techniques, right? If you have a pipeline which is homegrown, you have built it yourselves, then you may not have these. But some of the tool vendors like let's say a Dynatrace, which is known to be a performance monitoring solution out there. And this is directly, I've picked up this image from their website. So they claim that they have Davis, who is their AI engine, which kind of looks at all of these things when you're monitoring any apps, right? Right from anomaly detection, topology visualization in terms of how the applications are connected together, things like AI ops for self-healing pipelines and so on and so forth, right? So these are kind of things which will help you if you try and bring in AI into the mix of DevOps, right? Now let's try and look at the second part which I said, that can you use DevOps to develop your machine learning algorithms faster, right? So today what happens is if you look at any machine learning project, there are two distinct parts to it. One is a data science part, So what covers in the data science part is take lots of data which is there, develop the algorithms for the problem here that you are trying to test, make that algorithm go through several test cases, see what the results are. If it doesn't work, give it a different set of data, try and make it work again and again and again, right? So this is a repetitive process, and the biggest problem that happens is these are data scientists, they are not engineers who are used to code, right? So there's a lot of manual work that gets involved. Second problem that happens is you have a lot of data that's coming in. So you need to version that data perfectly, and you need to say with this set of data, these were the results which I had, right? So again, there's a lot of tracking which happens manually in these cases as well. So that's what the data scientists face. And this is where most of the time on any AI/ML project gets spent, which is a lot of manual there. The second part is the engineering part, which means once the algorithm is developed, you consume it into the application or software, you develop it, and then it goes through your normal DevOps pipeline. So the engineering part is pretty much optimized by using our set of tools. But this is the first part, which is usually manual, error prone, and has a lot of scope to bring in the DevOps techniques there, right? So what happens is, for data scientists, the question is that if I try and use these tools for version control, right? Similar the way I would version control my code, can I version control my data? Can I version control my test set? Can I version control the results which I am getting out of it, right? So these are the questions that a data scientist may have. Similarly, the engineers may have that data scientists are using their own tools to analyze the data that's coming in. Can this hook onto my DevOps pipeline tools? So these would be the questions that the DevOps engineers or the people who are putting in the pipelines together have to answer, right? So when you are trying to build DevOps pipeline for ML applications, it's slightly different ball game compared to the way you would have done for a normal application, right? So this is where again you have solutions out there in the market where you could say that, you know what, I'm using a AWS DevOps stacks, but that needs to be combined with a AWS SageMaker. So that AWS SageMaker is one of the tools which is used in a lot of AI/ML concepts, right, to develop your AI/ML solutions. Similarly, if you're in an Azure DevOps pipeline, you could say, you know what, I'll do Azure DevOps plus Azure ML together, and all this thing together is called as ML Ops, right? So essentially saying that how can I use machine learning, DevOps together to develop my machine learning applications faster. And that concept is increasingly being known in the industry called as ML Ops, right? So if you look what happens when all these three things come together, you have your DevOps, you have your cloud, you have your AI/ML. So if you bring in these three things together, potentially you can get your AI/ML applications faster because you are using DevOps to DevOps pipelines to deploy, develop, test their algorithms, look at how their data sets are performing. So that's one benefit. Second is, of course, you can have your dream of self-healing pipelines. Ask any DevOps engineer and pipeline person, what do you want? I want a self-healing pipeline. That's the nirvana state that everyone aspires to, right? So that in case anything goes down in the pipeline, it can autocorrect, figure out what went wrong, and you kind of have a self-healing version. And last but not the least, and most important, and which is most exciting to the management, is bringing the costs down. Because moment your pipeline goes on the cloud, you are talking about DevOps as a service, and then that helps you to contain the costs for your DevOps infrastructure itself, right? So today I would say there is time where we have reached a tipping point where it's not just about doing DevOps, but trying to bring in these different techniques as well so that it even propels further and we are even more ready for the future that is going to embark upon us, right? So with that, I would probably end my talk and see if there are any questions. I think I have 2 more minutes left. Yeah.
You mentioned one of your slide, ML in building automation. ML in building automation.
ML in building
Machine
automation.
learning,
Huh.
building the automation.
Huh.
Do you have any?
This one. Yeah.
Do you have any use cases or how it's additionally helping?
Yeah, so this one, for example, in Dynatrace. So what happens is, when you are doing monitoring, you may have different tools which are monitoring. Infra gets monitored by somebody else, some other tool. App gets monitored by some other tool. The other performance parameters, there's usually some other tool. Business parameters get monitored by some other tool in terms of website hits and how this app is performing and also. even when you take an application and put it into production, there are 5 or 6 monitoring tools which kind of in any large environment, large enterprise are monitoring that. So the biggest problem is that a business guy says something is going down, but you get to know that reactively, right? So can you do predictive analysis saying based on these kind of data, high chances that this website will go down, and hence I can take proactive actions to oppose that. So there's a lot of data correlation that you need to do. It's not just about monitoring and being proactive in one area of tool, because the people also who are monitoring these are different. Can you correlate all of them together and be more predictive? So those are the kind of benefits that you kind of see with anomaly detection, AI ops and those concepts. So that's a direct use case which is one of the most popular use case for ML in DevOps.
We are actually running out of
Oops,
time.
okay.
Because we have, but you can definitely reach out to her. We have time,
Yeah, I'm
another
here.
4 hours to go in this conference.
Yeah.
So ensure you reach out to her and get all the inputs you need. Thank you. And Archana, you need to, you get to ask 2 questions.
Okay.
And give away 2 prizes for the winners.
Okay.
So raise your hand before you answer so that we know we have one person we can identify. So you don't have to feel bad. And
Yeah. So I'll probably ask one question. What is ML ops? Okay.
Maybe you raise your hand first. No. He raised his hand first. So
Okay.
answer, please.
It is basically how do you do DevOps in ML and
Yeah.
how do you do ML for DevOps? So how do you do both together?
Okay.
It brings the
You're happy
Right.
with the answer?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you can come
Okay.
over the stage here and you can ask second question.
One more question.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's test. How many types of cloud images I had shown there?
Okay. Yeah, maybe here.
A simple one.
Yeah, for the one with the specs here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you.
You have the specs. He doesn't.
Azure, Google Cloud, and AWS.
Wrong. I said cloud. Okay. You meant the technical cloud. I should have been specific. The sky clouds.
Come here.
3. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Okay. That's all.
Your name, please?
Vijay Kumar.
Vijay. Congrats, Vijay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to come there so you can take a picture.
Yeah.
Your name? Naveen.
Naveen.
Yeah, congrats, Naveen.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, winners, and thanks, Archana. Before you go, we would like to say thank you to you through our memento and certificate. Sharmila, can you please come and help us thank Archana on the stage?
Yeah.
Big round of applause for Archana, please.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Archana. Thank you, Sharmila.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's here. No, both are here. Yeah. Mohammed Wasim and Mithul. Both are here, yeah. So, while our next set of speakers, Mithul and Mohammed Wasim are setting up their system, just a small reminder, please go to the sponsored booths, enjoy winning the prizes, very simple quizzes, and lot of goodies to be won there. Drop your question for the panel discussion in the Excellent Row booth and win prize for that again. And don't forget to tweet, take pictures, tag people, tweet. That is the day today. Today is a tweet day. So you get to win either a Kindle or a Echo Show. So wonderful prizes to be won. So DYS 19, continue to tag. And I'll also welcome Mohammed Wasim and Mithul Gupta, our next set of speakers from Infosys. So big round of applause for them. Thank you. So Mohammed Wasim, he has 11 years of experience in DevOps, automation and tools consulting, implementation and quality assurance audit. Mithul comes with over 16 years of enterprise experience in software delivery, design and architecture, DevOps consulting, competency development and quality assurance. He has helped global organizations to design and implement their IT systems and transformation strategies. Today they are going to be talking to us about DevSecOps and the implementing it collaboratively and security model. Welcome both of you. Another round of applause before we get started. This is a post-lunch session, so we need all of us to keep energized. You can.
Hello, I'm audible now?
I am audible. Yep.
Hi all. So before I start my session, I know this lunch has happened, but two things I promise here. First thing,
It's not on.
Can you? He's coming. You can speak it.
yeah. So I promise two things here. First thing, 100%. One thing I'll take away here, the extra two goodies apart from this, whatever she's giving. Other thing, as per the knowledge concerns, as I know this is after lunch, I'll try to make more interactive so that you can get maximum out of it. So before I start, so I start with a real scenario with respect to the security issues we faced, or many of these people who are working on the development background, they will understand this. And this is nothing but a scenario where I'm going to ask questions with respect to your feedback, and we can take that as an interactive session. You can tell me what are the things went wrong in these scenarios. So this is a real client scenario where many people have faced this issue. Yeah, so there is two teams. One team, development team, which is working on the AWS cloud subscription, and there is another data center which is there in different region. So both the connectivity has been not established. So what developer will try to do, so the Git is residing in data center 2, so it's trying to get the access to Git. So the error message will pop up that you don't have access to Git. So what exactly in the real scenario will do, we'll raise any issue to our Scrum Master. Once I'm not able to connect to the Git, what next? So basically, usually in our scenario, we'll go to our internal team first. What went wrong? So he will go to the ops team of internal. So what he says, hey boss, it is not my issue. So you can connect with your ABC client. So again, the feedback mechanism, whatever is there, is getting delayed. This is a very common issue in any organization. So now what Scrum Master will do, again he came back to developer. Boss, tell me what exactly the issue is. So what he says, in order to connect to any data center, in order to connect to the different data center, I need to expose some ports. So you have to take this port and go into the ops team of ABC client and then ask them to expose this port. So what Scrum Master will do in a Scrum meeting, he will escalate this to their client. So next what is happened, this ops team what they will do, they will fix the port via internet and this fellow happily got connected to Git. But here what happened, there is one more guy called a hacker. He is continuously looking for something so he can expose and get all this data back. So what that guy has done, so this is scenario, the hacker got the complete data. So my question here is, can you tell me what exactly went wrong here that hackers got access to all the client data?
So before that, I just wanted to know how many of you are technical over here. So just you can raise your hand. So you will understand this scenario better. So yeah, so just what we wanted here is just to understand that what mistake he has done while doing this setup, and he has not considered what all points. So you can raise your hand to answer. Not really.
Maybe you have to move a bit here because the mic and this mic produces that strange noise.
Okay. Yeah.
While providing the security, right, actually you might have opened all the ports.
Yeah.
You are getting very near to it.
Almost there.
It should be in two private subnets so that VPN tunneling will be there, so internet will not come into picture.
One of the things.
One point. Yeah. 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 A firewall rule between the two ports. Yep.
Yes. So what exactly has happened here? No, you are absolutely correct. What happened if anything I want to open from one region to another region? So that firewall IP, whatever you are talking about, is only communicate between these two, and the port should not expose to the public. So what basically they have done, that they expose to all the IPs. So that IP port they have taken and then they hack the data. This is the scenario what I'm talking about. So here, see, why I have shown this scenario, right, is moreover linked to whatever we're going to present in our subsequent slide, where if it has a proper collaboration between these people, so this issues could have not happened.
So see, the basic point is that collaboration is very much important, because see, everyone talks about DevSecOps, implementing tools, adding more tools for security, just scanning the code, but nobody talks about how to achieve that and what all these stages will be there. So we are talking just one thing about the equation, that how we will do. And I mean, the people feel like that if we have a sonar cube, it scans and it tells me a security vulnerability, right? But they never think just beyond the next step, right? That how the security and how the overall security in the enterprises will be actually taking control and taking care of before going it to market or before going it to internet. So
Happen in an ideal scenario because firewall team is already there in picture before ops team opens the port.
that is what he has. I mean, see, people are forcing him to fix this problem, right? So what he did, that since he was not able to manage, right, that pressure, or you can say that he was not able to control that, okay, how I can fix this problem. So all of the thought what he has thought, that okay, I will open the entire port and then the developer will be able to access, but he didn't understand what is the criticality behind it. See, if somebody asks to me, I can open the port and make it publicly accessible, right? But
Yeah, usually this is this scenario will caught only when you use something like Cloud Tail, you heard about, the Cloud Watch is heard about. What will happen in this area, right? So if you change any port physically or manual, it will display you that this person has been changed this port, and after that it will go to the approval and then it release it. In this scenario, what will happen, you know? So the many people are working on agile. You know how faster they require.
But
This
security groups are defined in AWS, right?
Yes.
Defined as security
I totally agree with you. In that, what I'm trying to say here, this is a scenario where I am telling there is no collaboration.
Okay, that is
Yeah. So this is a scenario to tell you that what is the issue first. How will you resolve that issue? That is one answer you answer.
so see, the point is, he does not collaborate, he does not take any review, or he does not consulted his senior that how should I resolve this problem. So something came to me and I just took a decision that I will solve this problem and I go ahead, but I didn't thought of all the complexity. So as a owner, I will only come to know once it has happened. At this point of time, I'm not reviewing and I'm not auditing, right? So that is what the lack of.
There is also an issue of security by design because the design itself.
Yeah, but in enterprises when you talk, right, so there will be silos, there will be different set of teams which are working, but there will be very less collaboration. So in upcoming slides we will talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. What you're saying is correct, because next slide, what I'm trying to say, how we resolve this issue. With the collaboration, how the security will be centralized so that you can communicate to all the stakeholder and then. So basically, yeah. So in our next slide, what I'm trying to say is, what are the security challenges in digital organization? If you see, say there are certain key enablers. So say already, I think from last 2 days we're hearing about DevSecOps and many things you have already heard about that. Maybe that is repeating things, but usually I want to say what are the key enablers that I have listed here. Like for example, technology disruptions. You already know how the past technology is getting changed, tools are getting implemented, processes are getting changed. So usually we are thinking about only technologies, process, people, but many people are not considering about the security. How to improve the security based on the technology changes. So next thing is agile adoption without security. So many people are using many frameworks like Scrum. Usually in 2 weeks we deliver. You do dev, test. Usually we will take security to the last stage. We are not considering where to integrate which level of security, when to perform the black box security testing, when to perform the white box security testing. You only thinking about testing. What kind of testing? But we are not most concentrating about that which kind of security testing to perform in the war state. So basically, this I have made one slide that will show you from writing a code till the deployment. where exactly the security things to be intervened and what are the tools to be used. So in my next slide I'm going to say. Another thing is data privacy and data protection. So basically everything is data now. So everything going online. My account is online, Facebook is online, everything is online. So what exactly we are we are going to take care that this my data will not get hampered. Nobody will store. Next thing is increasing in open source. So previous to this slide in track 2 only one of the guy has presented regarding a vendor lock. And in open source what will happen no? Many people will start using the open source tool. Okay, let's say example GitHub. They've started using it this thing which is free one. So many people like junior will hire. What they will do, they'll start writing code by mistakenly, manual error I'm talking about. They will commit the code to public. So this kind of issue will happen. Yeah, these are the impact due to this enables like security breach, longer time to market, internal compliance, lack of ownership, and lack of security knowledge. See, what will happen, let's say example, I have used some security tool. I'll think that I'm security expert. But tool will give you only the issues, but it will not tell you what exactly the security breach happened to that. So we require a security professional to verify, audit it, to make sure that whatever the issue is coming is a real security threat. Yeah, so what we have done, no, we have from from last 12 months data, we have seen that there are many security threats in the market. Okay, in that if you see, these two are major, where web application and software vulnerability. So basically these two things, we can target it in our pipeline. How? By using various tools, or by using some standard guideline documents for the security, by designing proper threat modeling, and all those things. So basically, at least I can assure, I'm not saying that 100% I resolve the security issue, but at least we can assure this thing can be considered during our pipeline. Yeah. So basically, by saying this, it looks like chaos. Like any organization is like this now. So many teams are working. Who is working what? We don't know. There's cloud service provider. There's something like security team is working. Dev team is working. QA team is working. But everybody is working. They're doing their own things. But what I'm trying to say here is there is no proper collaboration here. How? Which team working on what? Let's say dev team want to talk to security team. How can they collaborate? If they say, let's say DevOps team to open some of the ports in the AWS, whom to reach out to, what are the posts to be enabled? These are all the things. So answer to this question, what we are trying to say here is, how we can build a model, which I'm not saying the day one we build that model. We can take a step by step, where let's say previously is completely a waterfall model, where all the teams are working in silos. At that time I can understand my release is after 6 months. I have enough time. I'll do security in 4th month, 5th month, 6th month. But nowadays every day everything is got reduced to 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum, and get the product released to market. Yeah. So basically what I'm trying to say is, this is on my point of view, and your point of view also welcome here. What we're trying to say here is, let's have a security team centralized, where they can communicate to each of your members in DevOps team, like DevOps, operation, or business. How exactly they can do this? Many tools. I'm not fan about the Slack or Teams. You can use any tools, but the collaboration is very important. So each stage, what security team can help here? During the planning stage till the monitoring stage. So what are their roles and what are the key activities? What I have listed there. If we perform, can we have at least assured that my code is secure? Not 100%, but some state. If you see in my next slide, what I'm trying to say is, let's say this is our team, where all 3 teams are working in silos. Okay, so here my feedback mechanism is delayed. and I'm working in a silos where like development team has developed the code and they have passed it to testing, and they have tested and they have passed to opt team to deploy, and then it came to security team after a long time. So basically what we are trying to say here is how to improve this process in a scaling model, like bit by bit. So what I'm trying to say here is, next what I'll do here, no, I'll combine few teams. Combining, not that I put one guy here and please go ahead and do this. So it require lots of cross skilling, trainings, and also automation. So in this perspective, what we are saying, combine DevOps ops team now and keep the security team separate still, where certain things has been automated and I have opted the agile. I did an agile, already my dev and ops is automated, and I can get few maximum time to interact with security team to resolve few of the security issues. So this is basically my complete DevOps team, where complete team is known about security, operation, and all those things. And here is completely CI, CD, CT is automated with all the security tools been integrated in before build is deployed, after build is deployed, in monitoring stage. I am making sure that my pipeline from one end to end is completely automated with the security pipeline.
So basically here to add, what happens here in the traditional team, that all the teams will be working in silos in a different, in their domain, right? So, and if suppose an architect who is designing a system, he will not think about, I mean he will only think about the security with respect to his code, right? So then the security groups or the organization security department will not come into picture in that initial phase, because they will always think that let's build a software, let's build that thing, and then we will go for a security compliance, and then at the last phase they will come into picture and they will start auditing and raising out the issues, right? So what our point is that security groups should already be integrated during the design time, right? So they already know about the security issues, they can help better in system design. When an architect is already designing a system, they can help with their input, and it can be a better system, so which can only be solved with the base of collaboration. So once they are collaborating, they are asking questions, all the questionnaires are there in place, so in that way they can solve. So this model solves that problem of all the security concerns will be addressed.
Can we ask question apart for that?
Sorry?
Can we ask question apart for that?
Yeah, park it for the end so that you are at least able to complete
Complete.
the presentation.
Yeah.
Interactive if I ask right now.
Yeah, but I don't want the presenters to feel that they didn't get an opportunity to present all their slides.
Yeah, let's keep last 5.
Yeah, you ensure you can see the time, so keep a time.
12 minutes.
If you have a question, you can take.
If you have question related to this slide, we can take up.
A simple one, like one concept is inbuilt security, which you use your SonarQube or your 45 kind of tools. Secondly is because what the security team will do over there, unless it's automated, security building the code, it's not optimized.
True. So
No,
basically, let me answer this question. So you were saying that, let's say you are saying that SonarQube or 45 use in a build stage where my code is scanned and the results came. So in order to analyze those results, so we require security experts there to make sure that this has been done. Yeah. So here my answer to you is that, let's say the tools whatever is designed has a certain rules defined to it. Sonar is come with many rules. We can define rules. Like example, I'm writing something in a unit test case. I write my own validation. In order to get the security threat, my rules has been clearly defined there. In 45 as well, I have many tools, many rules to define which security threat to capture, which security threat to false positive. Agreed. So now, apart from these rules, if anything else that required to validate, that time I require a security expert, or else the tools has already doing this work for me, because I am paying so much of amount to 45. Something they have to get from them, right? So that's why.
But
Let's say
to review the report also you need a security.
see, that's really the question. Same thing. Some analysis can be done with based on the rules. If the rules is okay, I am validating. I am a security expert.
So see here, I mean there are two phases to see this. So one is the technical issues which definitely SonarCube can handle and list out and we can fix that. The second aspect is with the term of the overall part, right? That let's say for example whether my infra is completely secure, right? So they will have a test, right, on the ports, which all ports have been opened, what all ports are really required for the application, whether it is I mean if somehow in the code I have mentioned that okay I am using some X port which is not required to be opened for external user, right? So all these auditing will be done by them, right, which definitely will not be captured by SonarCube or any of the tools, right?
Infra-ops, infra-sec-ops part comes.
Yeah, so but that's what it's here is more like collaboration, right? So once that channel should be there, right? So when I am doing something, it should go to that. I mean, the different teams should be notified or should be known to those aspects, right? That okay, something is going on here or something is going right there, wrong there, all those things. So what is the update, right? What all security patches or what all updates are available so that I can incorporate those. So basically the idea is to collaborate well.
What we do based on the CIA level of the product, we have the rule set to implement now.
Yeah, so yeah, you answer to your question, no? See here. So with respect to CI/CD pipeline, you said right. So as per if we say this thing, security roles, each state what security to be taken care to make sure that my complete DevOps pipeline is secured. As per your question, infras
Infra-ops.
right? So where it will come, release deploy security champions. So what are the things they can do in order to make sure that my application is secure? Three things. They can have network scan, RASP, targeted dependencies, red tipping, many things are there. If I listed on the many things will come in this thing. So basically what I'm trying to say here is, in my security pipeline, each and everything is taken care. And this is also we can automate. I'm not sure much about the this thing network side. What are the things to be automated? But in the application side, when I my mark two things, right? Web application and software vulnerabilities that can be captured through many tools, open source or commercials. That can be done. Regarding the networking things, there are many things like many service providers. AWS will take care. Azure will take care. They have their own responsibilities with respect to security. Certain things they will not take care. That we have to take care.
But still, if there are vulnerabilities identified by the SAST and DAST tools, still security expert is required to see how to remediate.
That's only, again taking two steps back. If it is fall under the rules, that time I don't require security expert because already defined in the tools. For this thing, this is the issue. If going beyond that things, I need a security expert to verify. Because my normal tester can't do this activity.
SAST and DAST cannot remediate.
SAST and DAST, if I want to give more about SAST, SAST is something, is a kind of white box security testing for you, where your code is analyzing before the build. There you will get more of the SQL injections,
OS top 10.
anything, whatever OSC top 10 things will get into that. But when I'm talking about DAST is working different way. Where DAST is going through your URL scanning, API based scanning. This kind of, both are different activities. So I'm making sure.
That I know what
Yeah.
is SAST and DAST because I am from cybersecurity. But my only thing is even if the vulnerabilities are identified, security person is required to see.
To validate that, to yeah, correct, and to push back that it should be fixed, then only it can go to production.
Yeah, it's required, madam. It's required. Because that's why I'm giving this guys a job, or else they will jobless. Tools everything is using. Huh? Yeah. So we have 600 now. So I'll do one thing. There is one more question. So this is anybody working container or registry here? Maybe they easily answer this question. So basically, this thing. What I'm trying to say here is, what is the missing piece here? What exactly this missing piece will do? It will find out the vulnerability in your container.
So basically for container security, which is the tool which we can use here?
Okay. Image scanning. Docker image scanning. But Docker image scanning will not give the vulnerability.
No, no, it will only scan the image, whether there is a vulnerability in that image whichever is created. Right, here we are asking about the container which is up and running, right, to scan that. So that,
Yeah, that's one more thing. See how exactly in the container security is completely different from what exactly we'll do the analysis of application and all. Here, no, what Red Hat and all those things source, they have the defined vulnerability issues. They form as a source. Okay, whenever I'm scanning, I need to compare that security threat with my image. Only few tools in the market, what they will do, let's say, let me be still I did not get the answer
no,
for this, but
so let them
yeah,
answer.
this piece what it will do, it will store that data, whatever source from the Red Hat, whatever is there in the Postgre, and this piece allow expose Docker to expose their API and run through the client and give the vulnerabilities. It will compare the data of vulnerability from the correct source to your the Docker. Only few tools are there that will do this.
So, so one hint I can give, this tool is open source.
Yes.
OS, SAP,
No,
Yes. Yes.
clear,
Yes,
yeah.
Clear. Clear is a tool, and few more tools are there, but Clear is most probably used in many organizations to scan this kind of security things.
So we are already,
Your question is on the open source.
Not like that open source tool.
So
Other
actually,
thing,
Twistlock also does it.
which
even Zap does it.
Zap does, yeah, Zap.
Yeah, we have left with only 3 minutes. Only last slide. Last slide.
Okay.
3 minutes, right?
Yeah,
So,
3.
what I was talking about, right? You were telling about which security and which stage of this thing is there. Basically, this slide will present you where exactly what kind of security you have to use it. And basically, I have marked few of the collaboration tools to make the collaboration between each team. So basically, what I'm trying to say is these are the where most of the black box security testing chats is happening, and many where the security testing of application dash is happening. And these are the tools available in the market, open source or these things available in the market. Yeah, we have done it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A big round of applause for
Yeah, basically, madam, you give this thing. I have asked question. I told that I promise that I will give some 2 goodies.
Okay.
100%.
That's here you are going to give?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you know who is the winners are? Do you remember? Yeah. Please come, sir. And the second?
Yeah, this thing, I accept 2 answers I gave into this. It's good that I have 2 things inside.
Okay.
I can just
Split it between them? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this one is very
Yeah. Your name?
Anurag. Anurag.
Okay. And the next is? Yeah. Your name?
My name is Mohan.
Mohan.
Yeah.
Ranjan.
Ranjan. Wonderful. Applause for Mohan and Ranjan. Yeah. So Mohammed and Mithul, you will get to ask 2 questions from DOIS behalf. So we can give away our goodies, DOIS goodies for them. Even from your slides, let us see how alert and how awake our audience were. You could ask something from your slide also.
Actually, then you should have not taken up that slide.
Take this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do we have any questions to think? Okay, it's related to collaboration, right? So, like, which tool is the most popular open source tool used for collaboration? Slack is not open source. I asked, that is why I added open source.
He has been raising
Yeah,
this.
yeah, please. No, Slack is not open source. You cannot use more of the functionality of Slack in open source version, right? Yeah. Sorry?
GitHub. No, I don't.
No. Jitter. Yeah.
Please come. And one more question.
So, okay. First, we'll give this, or should I?
By the time
Okay.
we can think of
Okay, I'm just thinking for the security part.
Yeah. Mohammed, you can give the gift to him.
I'm just thinking for the
Yeah,
question.
make it fast because we are running out of time and the next speaker is
So still we have 30 seconds.
No, but we have to introduce the next speaker and we have to facilitate.
So it's for container security. So so when we expose a port, which is the command to use for exposing a container port? Exposing it to public.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. No. That is for mapping the port to the container port, but making the port to public, that publicly I can access that. Huh? It is. You can answer it on Docker also. No. Sorry. No. Yeah. No. Not expose. Not expose. I mean, you are guessing. So no one. So then, yeah. No. I think I asked very tough question.
Never mind.
Okay, so I'll get the gift if I answer that.
Okay. Thank you, Mithul. Can we have Ashok Mysore, one of our top agile leaders in the industry, to facilitate Muhammad Wasim and Mithul Gupta here, please? Yeah, Wasim, please on the stage. Yeah. This is Muhammad Wasim. Yeah. And this one, yeah. The memento also. Thank you very much, Muhammad Wasim. Mithul? Thank you, Mithul. Thank you very much, Ashok. Thank you.